Hello, everybody. So I just finished a podcast, but I need you to hear this. I'm desperate for you to hear this. Now, let me explain. And that introduction kind of came organically. It was not planned, um, because sometimes that's great. Doug is also being very calm. He sometimes gets hyper when I'm podcasting, and it's like he wants to be part of it. And I mentioned that a little bit in the previous video. And yeah, to know that I'm making a little bit of progress and inspiring others in that area is a nice thing. Um, and But I just wanted to. I was watching a video prior to the video that I just made. Otherwise, I would have put this in that one. And I don't have a ton of time at the moment. But basically, if I had played a little bit more of it, I would have heard something that prompted me to just say something. I think that this guy that whose channel I'm following is smart. I think he's trying to do good, but I think he was wrong with the statement he made. And maybe I should even go back and comment this under the video. I don't know, because I think he's the one I just recently discovered, and like me, he said that he really does value the conversation, and you know, and read the comments and stuff like that. I think some people say they read the comments, and some people actually do, or they do their best to keep up. And some videos have more to keep up with than on others. Uh, I just wanted to do a quick video. And I'll try and get this out before anyone tunes in live. It's not that I don't like that. Sorry, just a moment. It's not that I don't like people tuning in live and being in the chat. I love it, and I'm always curious to see it happen. But energy, time wise, and other distraction wise, today or at this moment, not so much. But you're certainly welcome to comment. The individual, the person had said nobody likes neediness, and neediness is similar to desperation. I would add. I would also add that I guess it's up for definition too, in circumstance or context. Um, I would say that we don't like people whining, being whiny, and only being full of complaints. I know that sometimes there's a lot of things that feel worth complaining about, and things can be really hard sometimes, and this and that. But and none of us are perfect. But seriously, if that's mostly what you're doing, yeah, then nobody would like that. However, I would also say, and this could have been a short, but I don't know, shorts are like a minute or whatever, right? I hardly ever do them. I stick to pants and other items of clothing. Just kidding. um, which reminds me, and I get one series, especially in a grad group. But I do remember that is good. Anyway, um, the thing is though, and I'll keep this short because some people will need that. You know, my longer ones, people can watch as much as they want and in as many sittings as they feel makes sense. Um, but I do try and post short ones occasionally because sometimes I have to because of schedule or whatever. But most of the time, I'm pretty available with my time when I decide to come podcast. But yes, some people may get turned off by the longer ones and simply just not be able to do it. And maybe some people feel, well, if I can't watch the whole thing, why watch any of it? That being said, I would say that for the most part, my content and probably lots of other people's content isn't necessarily something that it hugely matters whether you see all of it or not. I mean, if you do, great. And there will be times where there's slow spots or whatever, or quiet spots or whatever. But I just wanted to say one more thought on the neediness and desperation. Um, Somebody can say that nobody likes it, but don't we truly all experience it at different times? And I would say the answer is yes. I mean, you know, um, and most often, if we express our needs, which eventually sometimes we feel like we just have to do, um, it's gonna be verbally or in writing, either way, you know. Sometimes maybe somebody doesn't like it. People may not like it when too many of their needs are not being met. However, it can still feel good to try and help other people. And I actually I think I did a video on need a week or two ago, come to think of it. But it can still feel good to help other people. Um, and in turn, you might even help yourself a little bit too. Um, and anybody can be a helper and bring healing and joy and all that stuff. But yeah, basically, but perhaps some people struggle, and like I say, nobody has to have a perfect life or have it all figured out. Very few people do. I would almost be tempted to say really nobody does, although some people make it look like they do. So for people to say, oh, you have to have a certain background, or I mean, lived experience is very valuable, or to say that you know you don't have your life figured out in the certain ways or in ways that you would want, or you're struggling to love yourself, so you can't love others. I find that to be quite kind of BS, to be honest. I think, like I say, in helping or loving somebody, you can help. It can make you feel so good that you love how you're feeling. You love what you're experiencing, and yeah, sometimes it is. It's very hard to. I mean, I don't find it hard to help and love, and I mostly do feel love, but I can certainly feel more loved. So give me some loving. Give me some loving every day. So glad you made it. Why don't you? I'm so glad you made it. And then give me some loving. However that needs. And loving can have, different definitions as well, like, friendship, uh, flirtatious, romantic, whatever. Anywho, point of the matter is, though, and I'm glad I put a little bit of singing into this. I like when that happens. And it may not have been my best, but it certainly wasn't my worst. I actually, I mean, as a musician and a singer, I think I rarely sing badly. I'm not super much of an a cappella singer, and every now and then there's a high note that either I struggle to do or I just need to come at it from a different note, and that helps. But anyway, yeah, we all have needs and desires, and sometimes we will be struggling to meet them, and sometimes we will feel the need to bring that up and express it. And yeah, I think people that are either struggling with their own, some people may be harder, may struggle to receive that from others, um, or they're just critical of themselves and what they have the ability to do when they do receive it from others. Um, and also, there's another, like I say, what when it's all you're hearing from someone, I feel like there was another one, so feel free in the chat or in the comments to say what else comes to mind. But there's another. I feel like there might be. We don't need to think of a ton of them here, any of us. But I feel like there might be one other one where it's kind of like where it might be a bit of a turnoff. But I think it's still important to remember that we all will go through those kind of feelings in life, and sometimes openly express it to those around us or a platform such as this. Um, I don't think we should try and silence people or shame them about that. Um, and yeah, I feel like it's the human experience. Um, there's a part of me, like, there's just a little more than 2 minutes left of that video. There's a part of me that wants to play the rest of it because it surely would relate to what I'm saying here. I have that scrolled to a certain spot, and in the sizing mode that I have this, I can't put the captions on, but there very well, since it's not live, may be the option to have captioned. What I might do is maybe just come to the comments section, and if I think of anything else to say based on what I hear him say. But yeah, for the person that just tuned in, just to kind of give you the main thought of this before I wrap. Okay, you left, so at least it looks like you did. Either way, it's only been a little over 10 minutes, so hopefully people will see this. It'll resonate, and we can have a conversation. Um, um, I think it is important. I'll just say one other thing, though. I think it is important to evaluate our needs and desires, and decide, are they really something that we need or desire. I'd love to delve into that topic a bit more. As far as like when we go through things in life, disappointments, setbacks, struggles, um, it and experiences, um, or lack of experiences sometimes. Um, I often think that there's something to learn from that, and that it's meant to, I'm not going to say it in all circumstances, but in a lot of circumstances, I would say, there's something real big about treating people how you want to be treated, and because whether you believe in karma or not, it does, and manifesting, whatever you want to call it, it does. There's a ripple effect. Sometimes we can treat people greatly and not be treated the same in return, or not as often as we want or need, um, and or should. Uh, but I do feel like you know you're more likely to have positive interactions, receive love and kindness in return if you give it. And it's not that hard to give it. So, and many people already realize that and are doing just fine in that area. Other people, I think, need to maybe, maybe we should all take a moment and say, yeah, are we doing pretty good? Are we doing our best? Or if we ask ourselves that question, could the answer possibly be, could do a little bit better? Could want to be a good person, having difficulties in social contexts, or whatever, but could do better. But also, just in general, looking at your needs or desires, I see them very similarly, and yeah, deciding, is it a need or desire that you. I mean, I've got it's 1, 2 hours. Okay, essentially, yeah. Is it you know basically, I'm thinking about the person I live with and something that may come to mind for him. And I think, what's important is just realizing, although certain things may make sense to desire or hope for and do, and such, um, we can realize, and often do, that it's a small thing in the scheme of things, and that things are pretty okay, and most of the needs are met, and or those needs are met in certain ways, even if it's not in as many ways as it could be. And this is saying in kind of a general sense too. So yeah, and feel free to speak about some of the things that you need, because I'm a very helpful person. I I can give good suggestions and advice. I do feel, and if I can't help you directly with your needs, with things you're going through in your life, and support that you need, and or something you need to hear or whatever, to feel better about things, um, I can maybe make some suggestions. It doesn't really matter where you are in the world either. Like, you tell me where, and I could help you find some suggestions, or maybe it wouldn't really matter where in the world you live. in order to do so. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up now and do other things. Again, hope you're all having a great day. And you won't hear from me from a number of hours now, if at all, again today. But as far as posting a video, but I'll watch for comments and hopefully, I'll see them if they're put there at some point soon. Okay, take care. Bye.